boyfriend at the time, and neither Carson nor my boyfriend at the time knew about each other.
There's nothing wrong with that, okay? It doesn't mean you're a simp.
And while I was clear with Carson that Carson and I were not in a relationship, I still let him on.
Alright, simping isn't bad. Simping is king shit, okay?
His community very much saw us as a couple, which we encouraged.
You're a king if you're not afraid to simp.
The most fundamental evil in a given situation is not necessarily the most important evil. In this strange tale that has unfolded on the internet, I think the most important evil is pretending that you don't have a boyfriend when you do. Now, I'm going to tell you something scandalous about my main girl, Melissa here, who's sitting off camera. When she first started talking to me, she had a boyfriend, but she never lied. She never said a word of a lie. She didn't deceive me in any way. And I think we were completely honest with one another. I was just very good at like that low-level telepathy that consists of interpreting signs and signals that someone is giving you completely intentionally. I mean, one of the turning points early in the relationship was that Melissa posted. She didn't even send it to me. She posted in a place on the internet where she knew I would see it, a completely nondescript picture of herself in a winter coat. It was like, and the caption was something like, "I bought a new winter coat." And I saw that picture and was like, she wants to break up with her boyfriend and get with him. And I was completely correct. This wasn't the only sign I got. She wrote to me about rap music. They were cool. Okay, my opinion of Melissa and the whole path this relationship might have taken would be completely different if instead she had approached me pretending she was single and then only like several steps into it revealed, oh no, actually I have this boyfriend. No. So like because she was real with me and I was real with her, it was like, well, her situation was she did have a boyfriend. Long term, she didn't think it would work out. They'd already broken up and gotten back together a couple times. There were a lot of things wrong with that situation. There were a lot of reasons for her to break up with him, even if I wasn't in the picture. But yeah, the situation was she really wanted me, and it's cool, and we made it happen, and it's cool.
I had a boyfriend at the time.
The case we're analyzing is a YouTuber named Katerino. She also does live streaming, blah, 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 other platforms. Katerino was, for the sake of her own success on the internet, pretending that she didn't have a boyfriend, whereas in fact she did. Okay? And then on that basis, she built her fame and she flirted with her audience and she flirted with other YouTubers, other live streamers. All these people waste their lives playing video games. I'm not even going to describe their content, right? And sooner or later, she hooked one guy with more than 1 million subscribers here on YouTube, a multi-million subscriber YouTuber. And she got him to play along, and they pretended that they were boyfriend and girlfriend here on YouTube. Also evil.
His community very much saw us as a couple, which we encouraged.
So this guy, Carson, that's now an evil that's on his hands also. So he lied to his audience. I mean, like, dude, I hate to tell you this, but you were lying to any women who were your potential future girlfriends. There might have been other women who were actually interested in you in real life, but you were pretending to have a girlfriend when you didn't. The exact opposite problem of pretending to be single, right? And, in the end, obviously, this guy got his heart broken only because, and in as much as he lied to himself. Like, she has apologized and she's admitted she led him on or she encouraged him.
I still let him on.
She used the term that she led him on. Those are not my words. She said that she led him on, to be clear. But fundamentally, the only reason he was susceptible to this was that he wasn't just lying to his audience. He was to some extent living a lie. He was to some extent lying himself. Okay? There was a time when I was single. All right? There was a time before Melissa got on that airplane and came over to me. And there was another YouTuber. And she can say whatever the fuck she wants to say, now in 2020. At that time, she was interested in me. I don't care what she says. The anecdote I'm about to tell you, I think, for me, is all the evidence I need. She had a series of conversations with me, including, ultimately, conversations about meeting me that would involve airplane tickets. Whenever airplane tickets are involved, it's a high-stakes game. And that conversation was progressing toward airplane tickets and possibly toward romance. But I mean, if you haven't already made up your mind before you buy an airplane ticket, and it's cool. It's cool. No pressure. If someone tells you beforehand, look, I'm just coming on a try and see basis, as long as everyone's honest with each other, there's no wrong way to read the book of love, okay? And then suddenly she makes up this implausible excuse as to why she can't make the trip. And I found out, maybe a month later, that she did have a boyfriend at that time. But in all our hours of talking, it just never came up. She just never mentioned him. Okay? Now, I don't care what she'd say today. And, it's possible she's someone I'll see one day at a cocktail party. I don't care if she now remembers or rewrites history in her mind as if she was never interested in me, or as if her talking about buying that airplane ticket, as if that were for completely platonic reasons or for some... I don't care. Because if it were for other reasons, platonic reasons or otherwise, then you would have told me you had a boyfriend, right? You would have mentioned... Maybe you'd be coming with your boyfriend. I don't know. Or maybe you would say... Whatever. The fact that she concealed the existence of the boyfriend up to and including that conversation, and that I only found out about her boyfriend afterwards when she broke up with him, right? And there was some friction from that, all right? That to me tells the whole story about what she was concealing and why. And I asked her about it. I waited like 2 months after I found out. So it was like a 3-month gap. From memory, something like that. I didn't push it right away. I didn't say it wasn't like she broke up with her boyfriend the next day. I'm like, hey, look, But a couple months later, I wrote to her. I said, something's bothering me. You and I, we talked a lot. We got to know each other. We talked about X, Y, and Z. And then we started talking about airplane tickets. And you never mentioned that you had a boyfriend, okay? I think that is the most fundamental evil. All right. But both of those two things that we're contrasting here, what they have in common is that whether you know it or not, whether you're deceiving other people or not, you are living a lie. And living a lie poisons everything else in your life. All right. This is a great segue to the third and final point of this video, which is the use and misuse of the concept of mental health and mental illness. Because what now does Katerino say to justify what she's done wrong or what she regrets? Oh, of course, it's a mental health problem, right? And what are you doing with this mental health problem?
I'm working through my depersonalization. I'm still seeing my therapist.
So what are you doing in invoking this concept of the mental health problem? It really is like the proverbial sock puppet. It wasn't me. It was my mental health problem. It wasn't me. I didn't do any of this stuff intentionally. I didn't want this. I didn't desire this. I didn't fall in love with this guy. And men do this all the time. I think men are more guilty of this than women. Because for men, it's so hard to say, I really love that hoe. It's so hard to look back and say, yeah, you know what? I thought she might have been the one I'd settle down and have kids with. And it turned out to just be a one-night stand or a 1 week, whatever the hell it turned out to be. It's so hard for men to look back and say, yeah, in my heart or in my mind, I had hopes, I had dreams, I had aspirations. I was, a lot easier for women to admit they had feelings, that were doing these things, making these decisions on the basis of emotion, on the basis of desire. So, no, what do you know? She has a mental health problem, and she's talking to a counselor. She's talking to a therapist, right? So it's not me. I'm not responsible for my decisions. Look at the sock puppet.
I felt like I was two different people living two different lives. I felt like a passenger in my own body.
I don't believe in mental illness in this sense of the term, okay? I think this is as much a fictional character as Santa Claus. And, whoever is putting the presents under your tree, you may not know, but it ain't him. I'm 100% certain it wasn't Santa Claus who bought whatever you got for Christmas. However, I think there is a kind of psychopathology to deception, that when you deceive others, when you start living a lie. And we see that here really dramatically shown to us, both by CallMeCarson and by Katerino. And the saddest thing of all is, the only thing that was real in the middle of this is that for whatever reason, probably there was a real romance between Katerino and Fitz. Everyone wants to vilify that and demonize that. Oh, well, Fitz is evil, or Katerino is evil because she slept with Fitz. Whatever they had, at least it was real, whereas both CallMeCarson and Katerino were ultimately for clout in order to entertain a bigger audience, willfully, intentionally, and knowingly coming on camera and living a lie. And guess who got hurt more? It was CallMeCarson, because he was susceptible to wishful thinking. He started living that lie long enough that he wanted to believe that it was true.
Dun, 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 dun.